If you look closely at this picture, you will notice a special detail. When Ronaldo scored his first World Cup goal, he delayed his iconic celebration. Instead, he looked toward the distant stands. Who was he looking for? That's right, it was his old partner, Pepe. What deep bond makes the fiercely competitive Ronaldo instinctively search for him? Hidden in 2 decades of history, the story began in the Iberian Peninsula. Back then, the 18-year-old Ronaldo was sporting Lisbon's brightest homegrown star. Pepe, 2 years older, had just crossed the Atlantic from Brazil. In 2007, Pepe became a Portuguese citizen and made his national team debut. This sparked a legendary 17-year campaign, fighting side by side. They were the ultimate complements on the pitch. One was a lethal striker, never hiding his ambition and sharp edge. The other was an unbreakable shield, unleashing ferocity only on the opponents. He left absolute safety for the teammates behind him. People thought their careers would be smooth. But Pepe entered the public eye in a highly controversial way. His brutal triple strike at Real Madrid shocked the world. His flying kick on Ibrahimovic made him a global villain. His red and yellow cards could cover half a locker room. But in the eyes of his teammates, he was completely different. During a match, Dani Alves aggressively stomped on Ronaldo's stomach. As Ronaldo got up, Alves ruthlessly mocked him. Pepe saw every single bit of it. Soon after, he launched a brutal flying tackle on Alves. He knocked Alves right off the pitch. Pepe even returned the exact same taunting gesture. When a teammate clashed with Neymar, Pepe was the first to rush over. To his opponents, he was an unforgiving and ruthless demon. But to teammates and fans, he was an absolute guardian angel. Back then, he thought protection meant striking back directly, but a red card at the 2014 World Cup taught him restraint. He was sent off for headbutting Muller. This led to a tragic 4-0 defeat to Germany. Portugal ultimately missed the knockout stages. Watching his teammates leave in despair, he finally understood. True protection isn't about blindly throwing punches. It is about holding your ground and swallowing your anger. You must defend the goal at all costs. Redemption arrived 2 years later on a Parisian night. At the Euro final, Ronaldo was stretchered off with a knee injury. The whole Portuguese team lost its backbone. The fans in the stands were panicking. But Pepe proved his worth with every single defensive block. He told everyone, "Tonight, we fight for Cristiano." The French attacks came like a massive tidal wave. Griezmann cut through their defense like a sharp knife. Every cross threatened the Portuguese goal. Yet Pepe neutralized them all one by one. He shattered the French assault with 11 crucial clearances. His zero-foul composure contrasted sharply with his reckless past. When a young Portuguese player scored the winner, the nation erupted. At the final whistle, Pepe roared at the night sky. He finally used the calmest defense to complete his redemption. But time smooths out the sharpest edges. It also makes the fastest footsteps heavy. It made the 41-year-old Pepe race against time. He struggled with every turn at this year's European Championship. Against Slovenia, his extra-time mistake gave the opponent a breakaway. When goalkeeper Costa saved the day, the camera panned to Pepe. Sweat dripped onto the pitch, revealing his rare vulnerability. In the quarter-final against France, Thuram blew past him easily. Portuguese fans instantly held their breath, yet Pepe used his last ounce of energy to clear the ball. With a fierce roar, he sent a message to everyone. As long as I breathe, this defense will never fall. But the real battle was just beginning. After the extra-time whistle, the match went to penalties. Ronaldo and Bernardo Silva scored their penalty kicks. The pressure shifted heavily onto João Felix. Aiming too much for the corner, he struck the post. When the last French player scored, the journey ended. The final whistle also marked the end of Pepe's career. At that moment, he couldn't hold back his emotions anymore. The legendary tough guy cried like a helpless child. He fell into Ronaldo's arms, pouring out his heartbreak. Through 17 years of thick and thin, they stood together. They were always each other's strongest pillars of support. So let's return to that World Cup pitch. When the ball hit the back of the net, Ronaldo looked away. He looked past the crowd toward the distant stands. All the answers were written in those 20 years. He wasn't just looking at an old teammate, he was looking at his true brother in arms. They started together in Iberia and conquered the peaks. They survived the darkest valleys of the football world. He poured his life's blood into the Portuguese team. One always charged fearlessly at the enemy's penalty box. The other always guarded their own defensive line. With 17 years of fighting side by side, they made history. They defined the ultimate football brotherhood for the world. Time will eventually take away speed and sharpness, but it can never erase their deep-rooted trust. Whenever these two legends share the same frame, it is iconic. It is the most passionate footnote of a generation's youth.